Hello everyone, welcome to Sharmit. In this session, we are going to talk about another very important topic related to reactive form, where we will see what is form array. Okay, if you remember, in previous session we talked about the form builder. So this session is in the continuation of the same, where we are going to mainly focusing on the form array. We will do the introduction to form array. Okay. So by the end of this session you will be able to understand what is form array, why do we need form array, what are the actual difference between form array and form group. Along with this, we will also discuss what are the most commonly used cases where we can utilize form arrays. But before we proceed further with this session, I would like to recommend you to please go and check out the previously released session first, because they all are in proper sequence and sync. So if you follow it sequentially, then it would be much more easier for you to understand the ongoing topic, because for time being we are just mainly focusing on how to use form array. Okay, alright, so let's get started. Here you can see currently I'm in app.component.html file where I have noted down all the notes, and these theoretical notes will help you to prepare well for your interviews and examination. Okay, so I have covered only the required thing, not the extra thing. We will just mainly focus on some main question that you might see in the interviews or exams. So let's go one by one, because the first thing that anyone can ask you about the form array is what is form array. So here we will talk what is a form array. So I have noted down a couple of points here, around 4 points that will answer the question what is form array. Okay, so let's see one by one. The first thing is form array is a class in Angular Reactive Form used to manage a dynamic list of form control. Okay, so it is nothing but a simple class of a form of an Angular Reactive Form, which is mainly used to manage a dynamic list of form control. So when you want to use form array for the dynamic list of form control, then in that case you will use the form array. Clear? The second thing is it is used when the number of form field is not fixed. Okay, so if there is a situation where we are not sure or we are unsure about the number of form fields, then in that case we will utilize the form array. Unlike form group, it does not use named keys. Okay, so always remember this thing, that it does not use the names keys. It uses the indexes like 0, 1, 2. So it only uses these situations. Fourth thing is it stores controls in the array structure, and that is why we call it as a form array, because it stores all the controls in the structure of array. So I think with these points you can easily answer the question what is form array. So if someone asks you, so you can simply frame a proper answer in a way like form array is a class in Angular Reactive Form used to manage the dynamic list of form controls. It is mainly used when the number of form fields are not fixed, or we are unsure about the number of form fields. And if we compare it with the form group, then unlike the form group, it does not use the named keys. Okay, here we don't use the named keys. It uses, instead of that, it uses the indexes like 0, 1, 2 and so on. Okay, and in terms of form controls, it stores the controls in the form of array structure, and that is why we call it as a array, form array. Clear? So this is these all pointers are clear. So I think now we know what is form array, but it's time to understand why do we need form array, because it is clear what is form array, but actually why do we need it, where we can utilize it. So to answer this question, let's refer the below points. So first point says when a form field needs to be added or removed dynamically. Okay, so make sure that whenever there is a need, when you want to add or remove the form fields dynamically, then in that case you will utilize the form array. Second thing is when user can enter multiple values of the same type. Okay, so when user can enter multiple values of the same type like skills, hobbies, addresses, then in that case also we will use the form array. The third pointer is when the number of input depends on the user interaction. Okay, so when you know that number of fields are totally depend on the user interaction, then in that case we will use the form array. Next point says when you are working with the dynamic API data. Yes, that is very important point, because especially when you are working with the dynamic API data, then in that case we need a multiple form fields entries, and there we will utilize the form array. Okay, so overall these are the 4 points. Even there are so many other points also for sure, but these are the main point that will answer why do we need form array. So we need form array when we are when the form field needs to be added or removed dynamically. We use form array when user can enter multiple values of the same type, like skills, hobbies, addresses. We use form array when the number of input field totally depend on the user interaction, and also when working with the dynamic API data. Okay, so I think now we are good to proceed further, because we know what is form array, and also we know why do we need the form array. Now the next question might come as for the differences between the form arrays and the form group. So let's see the difference clearly, like what is the difference between form array and form group. So the first thing is form group uses the key value pairs like name and email. Okay, so form group mainly uses the key value pairs like name and email. Second thing is form array. If we talk about form array, then it uses the index based structure like 0, 1, 2. Okay, so that is the main difference. In terms of form group, we use key value pair. In terms of form array, we uses the index based structure. Clear? The next difference is form group is used for the fixed structure forms. Okay, so when you want to use it for the fixed structure forms, then in that case you will utilize the form group. On the other hand, form array is used for the dynamic structure forms. Okay, so when you want to use it for the dynamic structure form, then in that case you will utilize the form array. So as I mentioned, like sometime they will give you the paper and they will ask you to write the primary difference between the form group and the form array in interviews or exams. So what you can do, you can simply draw a line and you can just put one side a form group and another side a form array, and then you can mention these points like on the one hand, when we are talking about the form group, it uses the key value pairs, and on the other side when we are talking about the form array, it uses the index based structure. Yeah, and the next point could be like this, that it uses the fixed structure forms. On the other hand, it uses the dynamic structure forms. Clear? So these are the all pointer that answers the difference between form array and form group. Next question comes, where is the form array commonly used? Because now we know what is form array, we know why do we need form array, we also know the difference between form array and form group. Now the question comes, what are the scenarios where the form array is commonly used? The first point is adding multiple skills. So if you want to add if you want to provide a way where we are adding the multiple skills, then in that case we will use the form array. Second thing is when you want to add multiple phone numbers. Yes, that is also a very important point. If there is a situation where you want to add multiple phone numbers, then in that case also you will utilize the form array. Third point is multiple addresses. So if you want to add multiple addresses, or maybe the academic or educational details, maybe the working experience entries, right? So these all things are the fields that needs multiple fields, and then in that case we will utilize the form array. Likewise, if you are creating a product list and you know that your product list is completely dynamic, you don't know how many products are there in the list, so in that case you will build a dynamic product list, and for that dynamic product list again we will utilize the form array. Yeah, so I hope these all pointers are clear to all of you. So in this session mainly we talked about what is form array, why do we need form array, and we talked about the difference between form array and form group. Along with the form array, along with this we also discuss why where is form array commonly used. So I hope this session is clear to all of you. In the next session we will discuss few more things. So thank you for watching Tech Sharmit.